The former head of CEOPS, Jim Gamble, and beat bullying chief now, Cowley, join me now this evening. Jim Gamble, let's start with you. I mean, you've got a lot of experience of social media sites. What do you make of Ask FM?
Well, Ask FM is deeply concerning. This has been going on for well over a year. 5 children have been linked to Ask FM, all of whom committed suicide after significant bullying. And I think we're well past the time that they need to clean up their act and be much more responsible about what they do.
And Niall, what concerns you most about websites such as this? Is it the anonymity of people who are leaving messages, perhaps?
Well, as we know, anonymity sort of breeds disinhibition. So there's young people on websites like Ask FM that feel like they're going to get away with it, and they would therefore it encourages them to be a little bit more, dare I say, free with what they want to say than they would if they were speaking to somebody's face.
And Jim Gamble, the Prime Minister today says the way we counteract these sites is to boycott them. Is that the right way forward?
No, absolutely not. I think that parents aren't on this site. The site attracts 13 to 25-year-olds. So actually, I'd be saying to parents, get on and have a look at it. If you see advertisers from well-known high street brands who are in that site, write to them, tweet to them, engage with those companies and encourage them to come off. We need to positively influence Ask FM to do better. Simply closing it down will mean another site opens up and we'll go back through this cycle of a site that's all about money through advertising, having to learn the hard way about child protection. Better that we influence them now to improve their services and suspend advertising from all of the credible companies on their site until they prove they've done that.
I mean, Niall, I've had a look at their website today. I've had a good look at the terms and conditions. It's very clear that it basically says if you use this website, you're basically responsible for what you put on. And if there's anything bad happens, that's your responsibility too. I mean, it's pretty clear, isn't it? And they've also got very clear set of safety safety tips if you're concerned about harassment. What more could they do?
One thing I would say is that they're not clear. Their safety tips are not clear. And the other thing to say about their policy of the people who use it are behaving badly and therefore it's not their responsibility. That is fine when we're talking about adults, but when we're talking about children who are by definition a vulnerable group, we need to be focused a lot more on protecting them. And this is something that Ask FM are failing to do. They're failing to put in place proper safety protocols and procedures that look after their young users.
And I assume, Jim Gamble, that they have, Ask FM, have the details of people who have been sending these messages to the likes of Hannah Smith. Should they be publicised? Should they be handed over?
Well, they should be handed over to the police, but the police can only do so much in this. Ask FM need clear reporting functions. The reporting functionality on it just isn't good enough. The fact of the matter is you can block people, but people who are anonymous to you can still follow you. It's a very, very badly configured site. It's not well configured to protect young people in it, and they are, accruing a commercial advantage. So let's stop the flow of money to them. That will make them pause to think about how they better protect the young people that go to that site.
They're based in Latvia, aren't they? I mean, that just shows the setup of the web these days. So I suppose the Prime Minister, there's no jurisdiction against them, or there's no legislation against them in this country, is there? They can do what they like now.
Well, this is why we need to cooperate at a European level. But also, interestingly, the Prime Minister's remarks today were to not as a government to intervene, but as people, as the public to intervene. And that's exactly what we've done today and what we've seen through our pressure. We've successfully had 14 high-profile brands withdraw their advertising from Ask FM. And in response to that, Ask FM have responded with quite a substantial statement, which is in itself quite weak, but it is a move in the right direction on their part.
What should happen to them, do you think, Jim Gamble?
Well, I think the action needs to be taken at a intergovernmental level. The government, rather than talk about parents boycotting when parents aren't even there, should be talking to their counterparts to try and bring some collaborative pressure to bear through G8 or through other countries or through the European Union. But the fact of the matter is this. It's not good enough. We've been talking about advertising in Ask FM since the first suicides over a year ago. We have been asking advertisers not to do it. 5 children later, we're finally getting some traction. This isn't new. We've been calling on this for a long time. So actually sustain the pressure. The Prime Minister is a well-intentioned parent, but he does need better advice about the internet. We need to make sure that we simply call on advertisers to stop giving them the lifeblood, which is the money for advertising click-through that keeps them going until they improve.
When it comes to the internet, though, finally, Niall, we're always going to be behind, aren't we?
We don't have to be, because what we're looking at here is the behaviour of young people, and whether that's in a school environment or the playground or online, the interventions can always be the same. And if we reach young people with positive information and interventions about bullying behaviour, then we can look to beat bullying.
Jim Gamble and Niall Cowley, thank you very much for your time tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.